so that limits run games. You got to get more double teams on their D lines, which means it allows their backers to be a little bit more free. And then they got explosive players in the secondary that can go up and get the ball or bat it down and things like that. I know they got a couple guys down right now, but their guys that are stepping in are well equipped.
You guys have talked over the last years about kind of the toll that Brian Flores takes on you just intellectually during the course of the game.
Yep.
How might you imagine does Vic have a similar toll, kind of in a very different way? Or?
It's in a different way, for sure. Just they do well hiding coverages. Speaking on Vic, they do well hiding coverages and hiding pressures and waiting till the ball is snapped to do a bunch of different rotations and things like that. So they're different, but unique in their own ways. Yeah, he's a safe target. He's a reliable target, and his body language when he's running routes is very similar to a wide receiver. It's very smooth. It's very speaks to me very easily. And I know when he's breaking down, when he's doing what, and so and then he's also tall and and a large human, and so it makes it a little bit easier to sometimes just maybe toss it up to him or anything like that.
On the play that Jalen Ramsey pushed you out of bounds, CJ was right there, kind of defending. What does that mean that someone who is a little bit newer on the team was right there to back you?
Yeah, I actually didn't notice that until I went back and watched. It's what we are for each other. And if somebody did something wrong, I wouldn't expect anybody else. If CJ was out there, somebody on the offensive side, their offense did something wrong, on the sideline, I would expect all of us, to be right there on the white and protect each other, because that's who we are. We fight for each other, we protect each other, and appreciate those boys for standing up for me.
Mike Tomlin said that your play action game was tough to Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Your play action game was tough to defend, and Ben said that you've grown a lot in that area. It seems like it was something that you didn't run a lot last year. Just what has been your process in growing in that area, and what does that phase of your game do for you?
Yeah, I think if you just the stats wise of QBs when you can play under center, play actions, keepers, screens, run game, it all affects and it all looks the same, and that's who we are. Trying to make everything look the same but be different, and so when you get those looks, you provide yourself with a little bit more time back there when you make everything look the same and it's different. And so I think the run game's a part of it. I think our details on making sure everything is looking the same for when it is a play action or a keeper or a naked or any of those things, making sure it looks exactly like the run. And I think coach does a good job of having the different screens and having the different motions and all these different things to also look the same, to be able to help in protection, help in disguising what we're doing, and kind of confuse the defense and the players over there. And so it's something that we've worked on, something that I've worked on, and then from there it's just getting consistent with my footwork and delivering a good ball for the guys.
Caleb, Declan talked about the improvements that he sees from you with your feet, with your eyes, the way that you work in the pocket. Do you see the same kind of progress from yourself individually? And then as an extension of that, do you focus more on the process over the results or vice versa?
Yeah, I'm way more over on the process side. I do understand that we need to win games. I do understand that we need to complete the passes and all these different things. And that comes with time, that comes with reps, it comes with communication. And when you start hitting all those cylinders at the right time in the season, and you start getting on page with on the same page with your receivers throughout the years, the little small details that y'all don't notice on the field, they start going away in a sense. And so from there it's just it's just us being on the same page and being able to connect and just, like I said before, kind of know when he asked me the question right here is know where the guys are going to be, when they're going to be there, and trusting them that they're going to be there, and us being on the same page. And so it's big for us. It's going to be something that we're going to keep building on this season and years to come. But the connection and relationship is growing, and really excited for that.
This team was in such a different place a year ago at Thanksgiving time. When you look back on that, outside of the coaching change, what has been the biggest difference for you and where this team is at now?
Yeah, I would say I've spoken on it multiple times now. Is the belief when you have a certain amount of belief between all three phases on the from the players and special teams, defense and offense, that belief becomes contagious. That's something that Ben has provided in us, and the other coaches have provided in us, and instilled in us is that belief. And in the coaches, you have belief in the coaches. Obviously, we believe each other out there, but you got belief in your coaches, and in between the players, you can do a lot in the field. And we're coming out with these wins. Obviously these recent ones have been a little bit closer than we wanted to be, but that's what the NFL is, and so we're going to keep growing and try and focus on winning games. And like I said, the belief has been probably the main thing that has got us through these games.
You talked to us after the game Sunday about some of the throws you're usually surgical with that just weren't there. When you watched it, what kind of irked you, or what did you notice when you rewatched some of those plays?
Yeah, my feet were. I was exactly where I should have been in the sense of dropping back and all of this. I think my base got a little wide. And then my legs weren't fully under me yet early in the game, I would say, for some reason. And so just doing a better job in warm-ups and things like that, making sure that I'm my legs are a little bit more warm. If I do ever feel that kind of feeling I felt early in the game, and just focus on that. And then other than that, my base got a little wide, and then things started getting high on me. And so just circling back to the small details that go into it. We started. I think Coach said he called 18 passes in a row at one point. So, just focusing in, honing in on my details, and that's every single detail when it comes to my position. And so I think it was my footwork, and then my legs just not been under me.
Did you notice that he'd called 18 in a row?
I didn't notice. You kind of get into a flow, and it didn't feel like it was 18. I don't really mind too many of those, those are always fun, going 18 passes in a row, but no, I didn't actually notice.
When Ben gets into post-game victory speech mode, you're usually in your mind, so that you're into it, not a little bit used to. What do you like about this sequence there when after you win and he goes into that mode?
Yeah, I mean, you work so hard. You spend so many hours in here throughout the week, and just to for a 3-hour outcome, you want to come out victorious. And so, in those moments, you want to celebrate those moments. You want to show and let it all out. In those moments, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. Super excited to win. Super excited to be here with my guys and being able to have this support group around me, whether it's the coaches or the players. They've been awesome since I've been here, and obviously since the new coaching staff been here, they've been awesome. So just celebrating, enjoying, understanding that each win here in the National Football League is really tough, and so celebrating them like it's our first one.
Caleb, obviously this is a big game because you're going to play the Super Bowl champs, it's prime time, but regardless of who you're playing, do you feel like each of these games as you're winning continue to feel bigger and bigger?
No. You don't put, as a team at least, we don't put that type of energy, that type of effort, that type of pressure on any other game. We go into each game, focus on being 1-0. You don't look over there, compare yourself to their record, their team, their coaches, their players, or anything like that. We focus on us. We focus on ourselves. We focus on our details. We focus on when we're in between that 53 and 120 execution, and scoring as many points as possible. And then obviously, defense trying to stop them from scoring as many points as possible. And when you do that consistently, you'll come out with the right outcome at the end of it. And so that's what we focus on.
Is it a challenge for you at times to not over-rely on your escapability where you may try to hang on to a throw a little bit longer because if the pressure comes, you've been so good at getting away from it?
Yeah, that's always a part of it. When you have special talents or attributes as players, and I'm not speaking to myself at this moment. When you have special talents as players, you don't always want to rely on that. You want to focus on the small details. You want to focus on the execution. You want to focus on what you were taught, what you've learned, what you've what's been instilled in you throughout the whole process, and so and let the talent come out when it's needed, and that's always going to happen when it needs to happen, and so I think that's what I've been harping on for myself. Let those plays happen. And I'll have a counter for everything. If those moments happen, and so yeah, that's something that I harp on for myself. Just get the ball out, protect the lineman, get the ball out. Give a good runner's ball so the receivers can go be explosive because we have special talented players when they get the ball in their hands, not including myself. And so, just being able to try and be the point guard, and then when it's time to go make plays, it's time to go win the game, go win.
Have you had any interactions with Jalen just from your?
Slightly. We've ran into each other a few times, and it's quarterbacks being quarterbacks, saying what's up, and checking on each other, and then from there, I think he's given me some wisdom back when I was being recruited by Oklahoma, and he was leaving. But other than that, it's been a little bit since we've kind of ran into each other. It was there's not many like us, in our position and who we are and skin tone, all these different things. So it's not many like us, and so just being able to understand the opportunity that we have and I have to maximize that and put myself in the best opportunity possible. It was kind of that type of kind of talk. Jalen, you've heard all his bits. He's pretty motivational when he speaks up here. So yeah.
A couple more of your ability to bounce back, to flush bad plays. You talk about not being as sharp as you want to be early in the game, but you still end up 3 touchdowns, no picks. You got the fumble in the end zone. You're able to flush that and continue to move on. Where do you get that ability to kind of just put those bad things behind you and move on and still have a productive game?
Yeah, it's something that the team needs, and so for myself, I'll do whatever it takes for this team, and that's one of them is being able to flush bad plays and look the guys in the eyes and say that's my fault. Get up here and say it's my fault, and that play was for sure, because I could have dirted it, I could have maybe thrown a check down or something, and so accountability is a part of it, and then the next part is when I mess up. It doesn't bother me as much as when we don't go out there and score and put up points because of the talent that we have and things like that. I can those mess ups I can control typically. The interception, if I throw interception, the fumble I can those type of situations I can control and be better. And a lot of times when we don't go out there and score, it's it's a lot of other factors that go into it, and so being able to control myself and be accountable to myself, but also to the team and the guys that are out there with me is really important for me. And so, like I said, doing whatever it takes to be right in the right space at the right mindset, at the right time to be able to lead these guys and go win games.
What do you think of the job Ozzie did when he stepped in for Theo?
Sorry, what's that?
Ozzie. What do you think of the job that Ozzie did?
Yeah. I gave Ozzie a big old hug after the game and dapped him up just because. I mean, we went versus a good D-line over there, and that's a tall task, to step in, throughout the week, late in the week, and go out there and execute the way he did. And so, like I said, for after the game, we expect that of those guys because everybody here has a job. Everybody here is important for us to go win games. And so, expectation was for him to go do that, but it is harder. It's easier said than done. And so. Being able to go out there, execute like I said, and protect me, and didn't really feel anything over there. Stepping in for Theo, it was tremendous.